One of our favourite bikes from the 2019 Marin range is the Bear Valley, which has some really out-of-the-box thinking. If you look at this frame profile, you'd probably think that it's made from carbon, but in fact it's actually constructed from water pipe, which is a far stronger material and will leave carbon for dead in the durability stakes. While a 95-degree head angle ensures excellent handling around those tight switchbacks, large four-fingered brake levers are totally enduro spec for reducing fatigue on those long descents, whilst the cantilever brakes ensure maximum cornering speed. If you take a look at the drivetrain, it's running oval-shaped rings, which of course is up to speed, and it has two spare ones. The gear range is 957%, which leaves SRAM Eagle for dead. While we might bang on a lot about the heritage of Marin, let's not forget they have some seriously up-to-date and cutting-edge bikes. We're going to pick the eyes out of it and have a look at some of the highlights here today and some of the bikes that we're hoping to be reviewing over the coming months, including the Wolfridge, the Rip Zone and the Four Corners. Now this wild-looking beast, the Wolfridge 8, is probably the pick of the bunch as far as we're concerned. It's a 160mm travel 29er. That uses the same suspension system as was found on the Polygon Square 1 that we reviewed last year, which absolutely blew our mind. It's a really unconventional approach to suspension, but it works so damn well. When we rode that bike last year, we were blown away by how fast it was and how much grip it had, both climbing and descending. We couldn't believe what we could get up considering it was such a long travel bike. It had 180mm of travel. Now we think this bike is going to be even more popular. It seems to have a better balance with 160mm of travel with 29-inch wheels. It's a little bit less travel to tame. Then you've also got the 29-inch wheels, so you've got that increased rollover ability that you don't get with the 275 wheels that were found on the Polygon. So we reckon this bike is going to be absolutely in the sweet spot. We are frothing to get some trail time on this bike, which is why we're going to be securing it for a long-term test and riding the pants off it for quite a few months. While everyone likes a wild-looking carbon beast, sometimes practicality has to win out, and that's where the Rift Zone 3 is a fantastic bike in our opinion. At less than $3,000, it represents a really solid trail bike for the money. Aluminium frame, 120mm of travel, rolling on 29-inch wheels. That is pretty much your bread and butter trail bike for most trails in Australia. We think it's going to tick most boxes. The geometry is really cool as well. It's quite an aggressive bike, a 50mm stem, reasonably slack, with a decent length reach as well. So it's certainly in the new school when it comes to the geometry for a 120mm travel trail bike. Yeah, we think this one is going to be a really big seller for Marin. Bicycles Online, of course, are not the only online retailer in Australia. We're starting to see a lot more direct-to-consumer models here in the country, especially with some of the big international players starting to make their way into the Australian market as well. Mountain bikers in Australia are still getting used to the idea of having their bike shipped to them in a box and what that means. There are lots of concerns. People want to know what happens if it sucks, what happens if it broke, what happens if it's not put together properly, and what happens if I don't know how to assemble it and I completely stuff it up. So there's plenty of questions. Bicycles Online with Marin are trying to solve a few of those dramas. One, you get a 14-day test ride period. So if you get the bike, you take it out on the trails and you decide it's not for you, for whatever reason, no worries, send it back. Now that's some pretty cool peace of mind. When it comes to the construction of your bike, you can rest assured that it wasn't thrown together by Darren Drinks a lot on a Friday afternoon right before he ducks off to the Terry Hills Tavern for some bingo. Every single Marin bike that is sold in Australia through Bicycles Online gets their pro build treatment. That means that it doesn't just come straight off the production line with all the other bikes. It actually gets one-on-one attention with a single mechanic, making sure that everything is totally dialed before it is put into the box and shipped to you. I can almost hear you from here. People screaming, stay away from that thing, what is it, don't touch it, it might infect you. And we know that a lot of people out there in Flowland don't necessarily like this style of bike, but to be honest, I kind of do. The Four Corners is Marin's absolute bike packing machine. It's a 700c wheel.
What is this mountain bike sorcery we have here? What does it do? Where does it come from? Why? How? There are so many questions surrounding this pretty unique bike we have here. The Marin Wolfridge is as unconventional as they come. Being so unconventional might not be for everyone, though this will reward the curious, as this bike has to be ridden to believed. Although it comes with quite a reputation, with incredibly varied reviews online from different media sources around the web, we want to find out for ourselves what this thing does. This is our new long-term test bike. We're pretty excited about it, so let's see what it's all about.
Marin Bikes. Just want to talk you through our new Alpine Trail, the latest in our multi-track bikes. So following on from the success of our Rift Zone, our Hawk Hill and our B17, we decided to take the suspension platform onto a long travel 29er. So what we've got here is the Alpine Trail 7. It's also available in the 8. Alpine Trail 7, 2,200 pounds, 150mm and 29-inch wheels. The idea behind the multi-track system is that it's a super playful, we like to use the word made for fun, super playful platform that allows you to get up the hill with minimum effort and then have a whole load of fun on the way down. Starting from the back, what we've got on this, 2,200 pounds, SLX rear derailleur, wide ratio E13 cassette,
At Marin, we feel that no matter how much money you spend, you should get a rad bike. This is why we created the Hawk Hill. Hawk Hill was built with one thing in mind: fun.
but ain't no use. I'll lose it if you cut me loose. You can try, but ain't no use. I'll lose it if you cut me loose. Darling, please don't hesitate. Can I get you now, or must I wait? I can feel my patience running thin.